I am a sponsor for one of the boys down there. I wasn't a sponsor until I went to Ninos. I wanted to go down there and meet a child and have that connection. But when I got down there were so many kids and it was so hard to pick. So I had Nancy at the office pick one of the children that didn't have as many sponsors that needed a sponsor. And it was Cruz, and he's a 9-year-old boy now. At that time, him and 7 of his other brothers, or there's 7 of them in their family, and they all came to Ninos at the same time. But she picked him, and then when I went on my second trip, I got to meet him, and it was a funny situation. He didn't know who I was, and I obviously didn't know who he was, and I don't speak their language. So I had to ask his teacher, and she explained it to him, and he got really embarrassed and didn't want to talk. He was kind of wild and crazy before that, but after that he was real shy and to himself. But the vision is, to me, is they try to take these kids that come from these awful situations that wouldn't necessarily get the help that they would get from anywhere else in Mexico, and introduce God into their lives and try to get them to, stay focused in their lives and better them as a person. I've seen a lot of the kids that have gone into the ministry just in the few years that I've been a part of Ninos, and they are wanting to be ministers there, with the church or with Ninos, or one of the boys is helping out as part of Ninos, and the doctor that's down there, he was a child of Ninos, and now he's, helping out with the program also. Some of them have never, they come from very broken homes, and it's so amazing to me to see the kids and where they come from, and them being brought into these homes and brought into just a loving environment, surrounded by God, and they are thriving now. They're not depressed or sad. They're happy kids, and you would think, that they would be down and out, but they're so happy and so joyful. It's just awesome. Well, when we're there, they've done like a vacation Bible school with the kids, and they do the church. They go to church on Sunday, and then they do like a devotion. They pray in the evenings and stuff with us and with the kids. So there are several different ways that you can get involved with Ninos. You can first and foremost pray for the kids and all the support of all of the people that are down there at Ninos and all of the sponsors here. Also, you can sponsor a child. It's a very rewarding thing for me to sponsor a child down there. I would love to sponsor more if we had the funds. And also another way is they have different activities that you can do here in our area. We have a trivia night once a year that's in Florissant, and then we do a 5K run that my cousin and I started when we came back from our second trip to Ninos. The first 5K last year was a very good turnout. We had children. It was so cute to have the kids supporting the kids, down there. They ran with us, and we've got lots of pictures of the little kids running through the finish line. They didn't exactly run the whole run, but they crossed the finish line at the end, so that was pretty cool. To be totally honest with you, I grew up in a really bad situation, and I never really was involved in church a lot until I was older. And it's not really easy for me to talk about, I guess. Anyway, I see these kids, the church introduced me to Ninos, and I was really drawn to all of it. And I asked, my mother-in-law is very involved with Ninos, and I asked her a lot about everything that goes on with Ninos, and it really intrigued me. And then when I went down there and I saw the situation and I saw the kids and how joyful they are and how happy they are, even coming from an awful situation, it's really weighed on my heart. And I'm sure there's other ministries, out there, but these kids they're so amazing, and they have made just as much of an impact on me than I have on them. I mean, I know they say it's so great that we go down there, and it's so good for the kids, but it helps you too as a person, so. Yeah, there's not very many people on the staff for Ninos that are actually paid. Most of it is volunteer, but they're all amazing. I've got to work with several of the people on staff, Steve and Mick, and they're both hilarious and fun to be around. Steve was our leader on our first trip, and Mick was our leader on our second trip, and they're just awesome to be around. They're very much in tune with the children. The mission trips that we go on are a week long. I know there's internships that kids can do that are longer than that, but what I've done, the short-term mission trips, has been a week. And we go down there. The first time I went down there, I was not knowing what to expect. We got to the airport and the kids were there with the leaders, and they just had the biggest smiles on their face. The communication, there was the communication barrier, but we had such a great time. We went down there. The first time we painted roofs and we helped repair stuff, but the funnest part of it is that we get to hang out with the kids. So at the Agape house, we had a huge water fight. We had water balloons, we had buckets that we were dumping on each other. It was so crazy, but it was so much fun, and they have so much fun. And then we did the same type of things. We brought down water guns with us, so we brought them over to the other house, and we, played to Bethel, or we went to Bethel, and we had a water fight too. And they got 5-gallon buckets out, because the boys, they're older at Bethel, so they got the 5-gallon buckets out and were drenching us. We were dripping wet. We didn't bring extra clothes, but it was a really good time. And then the girls' house is Genesis, and they're girls, and they didn't really go for the water fight. We played games on phones and watched movies, and we had a tickle fight. I mean, it's just, we had a really good time.
If you know of a ministry that we need to know about, please give us a call, 888-641-8606, or take a look at our website, revelationstv.org.